I told my sister's boyfriend everything about her past, and I think I might be in the wrong for it. But I did it for a very specific reason. She has a secret she's been keeping. I'm going to tell you what it is, but first, I need to get a little bit of your opinion on this situation. I've always known that my sister does not care about me like I care about her. But I never thought that she outright hated me. Because what she did yesterday is not something anybody does to a person they care about even a little. I definitely regret excusing her behavior all the time, believing that she cared on the inside. Let me first give you guys a bit of context. So, I'm 29, female, live with my parents, and work very hard to take care of myself. I have a good enough job that enables me to support myself and also my family. And even though it was tough, I was still very happy with my life, as I was surrounded by people who loved me, or at least I believed I was. My parents stopped working full-time right as I started earning well enough to support the family. My dad and my mom gave me the responsibility of paying the bills of the house. And even though I was not very happy with it, I accepted it. I just did it to make my parents happy, and also because I believed that they had done a lot for me, so taking care of them was not such a big deal. I had also been dating a really nice guy, Akira, whom I met several months ago. We met at a bookstore and instantly hit it off while discussing a book that we both liked. After that, we went on several dates, and, things were looking really good. My sister managed to destroy all this yesterday when she accused me of something disgusting for no reason at all. I guess it's high time I introduce her, right? Kim, my sister, like I already mentioned, has never really been a fan of me. But I've always treated her with love and respect because, unlike her, I thought of her as my little sister. Growing up, she disliked me because I was good at most stuff, and she had to try to even hard to pass. Studying was not hard for me, and neither was sports. I brought in many trophies consistently, and of course my parents and family members were really proud of me. I told her to be like me all the time. I understand that this was wrong and knew that it could make her hate me. So I always told my parents and relatives that she was not me. I always made sure to tell everyone that she had her own strengths, and asking her to be like me was wrong. I defended her and saved her from getting into trouble all my life. It felt bad to me, knowing that I was casting a shadow in front of her, so I tried my best to help her not to take all this seriously. But she never understood what I was trying to do and probably always thought that I was either looking down on her or taking pity on her. At one point, because I have topped the exams, she refused to speak to me for the entire vacation because she got crap from our parents for failing. I tried my best to make her understand that I did not do it to make her life hard, but she refused to listen. At one point, I started getting less marks just so that my parents would stop trying to push her so hard. But nothing I did really worked, because as more and more time passed, my sister grew up to be more and more jealous and angry with me. Believe me, I've always tried to maintain a good relationship with her, but for some reason she's always seeing me as her competition. I didn't do anything about it because I believe someday she would actually grow up and would learn to be happy for me. But unfortunately, that day never came. Up until a few months ago, she was living with us and refused to work somewhere for more than a month. So I had no help with the bills. Instead, she used to demand money from me to buy stuff she wanted, and I gave her some whenever I could afford to. Please keep in mind that even taking care of most of her financial stuff did not make me a good sister in her eyes. But a few months ago, she moved out and she got engaged to Brock. She had been dating Brock for almost a year, and had bragged so much about him that I probably knew more about him than my own boyfriend. She wasted absolutely no opportunity, especially in front of me, to tell anyone and everyone who would listen how great her boyfriend was. Guys, I'll admit, Brock is a great guy. He's good looking and is from a rich family, so she pretty much hit the jackpot. But she was still not happy because anytime she would brag in front of me, I would just be genuinely happy for her, not jealous, which is probably the reason she was bragging in the first place. Honestly, I was not doing this to annoy her or anything, as I was actually happy that she had found love. But I guess she never understood that I cared for her because she didn't care for me one bit. A few months ago, she got engaged. Nobody was as happy as me to see her living her best life. That's probably the only time that I saw a love inside her eyes for me, but it quickly vanished as the days went by. After getting engaged, she moved out. And I even tried to arrange an engagement party for her at our house, but she refused and planned her own at her new home. It did hurt me a little, but I was happy for her and also understood the reason that she did all of it in the first place, as it was a lot bigger there. But it did make me sad, as I could not stay for long and had to leave due to an important work issue. I even apologized to my sister. Now that I think back, and I can only see this as being the reason she decided to do what she did. But it still does not make sense, because why would she take revenge on me for such a trivial thing? So, guys, let me explain what happened yesterday. Yesterday was an important day for me. Not only because we were having a family dinner with many of our family members, but also because Akira was joining us for dinner. And this was me introducing him to the fam. I felt like this would be the best way, as I had already met his family one time. Everything was going great until Kim showed up out of nowhere and decided to join us for dinner. I didn't mind her joining at first, but she soon started trying to embarrass me by telling Akira about my past crushes and how I was bad at a relationship and other stuff. I politely asked her to shut her trap, and she started bragging about her fiancé left and right. This was better than what she was doing before, so I happily listened and told her how happy I was that she was getting married. Even Akira told Kim how proudly I spoke of her and how happy I was. This sort of turned on a switch because my sister immediately looked annoyed and tried to change the topic almost immediately. I asked how Brock was doing. She then smiled and looked at me, telling me that of course she would want to know how he was doing. Well, I asked her what in the world she meant by that. She tells me that she knew about what I tried to do and said that she was oh so disappointed in me. She said that I betrayed her trust, and she didn't even want to look at me. None of this made any sense to me, so I asked her what in the hell she's talking about. And what she said made me drop my jaw to the floor. She told all the family members there, including Akira, that I tried to seduce Brock because I wanted him for myself, and I was simply jealous of her. Fortunately, everybody knew the kind of person I was, so they refused to believe what she was claiming at first. Even Akira, who was probably the person who knew me the least, said that I would never do something like that. I told her what she was claiming was absolutely bonkers and explained to her that I had only been happy for her and not jealous. She then tells everyone around her that she knew this would happen because I was the golden child. And, well, this is why she had come here with proof. She then showed everybody what I assume are fake text messages and call records because I have never called Brock a day in my life and probably don't even know his number. I could not speak for a minute because I was utterly shocked and she was doing this to me for no reason. I knew instantly that this was not Brock's doing because he's not the kind of person, and I realized very late my sister is. The abundant proof started to make the family believe in my sister's story, so I had to do something quick. I first of all asked her why she was doing this, and she said it's because she wanted to show everyone my true face. My parents started to look less and less confident in me, and so I asked her if all of this was true, why wasn't Brock here as well? Well, that extended it, and it was such a mistake. She flipped out and flipped the narrative on me bad. She said that for months I've been begging him to hook up and had been borderline harassing him, and a week ago he had a breakdown and told her the truth. But he made her promise not to tell my family about this because he didn't want to cause any issues. Oh, good guy. As you can probably understand, this made me look worse and made everyone believe the story. Akira just looked at me silently in disbelief, and I kept telling him to trust me on this. My parents and other relatives started scolding me for what I had done and telling me how disappointed that they were in me. They kept telling me to accept what I've done while I kept telling them that I had not. And while all this was going on, Akira just stood up and left. I ran after him and asked him to trust me, but he refused to listen to me and left. I then had to go back and listen to my family members drag me out for something I didn't do, while my sister just enjoyed every single bit of it from the back. I got so mad I had to leave, which probably made me look even more guilty. And I'm right now at my friend's house because Akira's refusing to answer the call, and my family has threatened me to only return when I'm ready to confess and ask for forgiveness. Guys, the reason I'm writing this is to ask you if you have any idea how I can clear my name and get my sister back. I refuse to believe it, but what worries me is if Brock is also involved in all this. How do I clear my name? What do I do? Please give me an idea. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's been a week since my first main post, and here I am. A lot of things have gone down. But before I tell you anything, I want to thank you guys for showing the support. I seriously thought that I was only going to get trolled for writing this here, but you guys have literally been the best. So, as you're all probably remembering from my original post, I told you guys how my sister claimed that I tried to seduce her fiancé and made me look bad in front of the entire family. So after that, I first kept calling Akira so that I could explain to him that I was innocent, but he kept refusing to talk. Then I tried to get a hold of Brock, who was out of state to handle some business. You know, I had to wait for him to be available, and on top of that, my family members kept calling me, asking me to come home and apologize to my sister, and I asked them, give me some time. Well, right then Akira called, which made me oh so happy because I assumed that he realized the truth, but he had called me to inform that he's dropping off all my crap. That was at his house, and wanted to ask me where he should leave it. So I went to his house myself so that I would get a chance to try to convince him. But as soon as he saw me, he said that he had thought about this a lot and was breaking up with me. Believe me, I tried my best to make that man listen, but he just refused to believe me and kept telling me that I should have just broken up if I wasn't interested in him. As you can probably understand, this really hurt me, because Akira was great, and my sister's stupidity had cost me it. I decided that I was done waiting and used my cousin to get Brock's number. Cousin told Kim that he needed the number for something, and she gave it to him, and he gave it to me. After a while of trying, I was finally able to get a hold of him, and he was surprised to hear me call and ask me what's going on. At this point, I was praying inside that Brock was not involved in all this, and that it was just my sister. Well, fortunately, my prayers, they were answered. Brock was just as shocked and awkward as I was when I first heard what my sister was claiming. He couldn't believe his ears. I had to repeat many times what exactly happened. Finally, after a lot of convincing and a phone call to probably one of our family members, he believed it and asked me why she did it. I told him that his guess is as good as mine, because I have no clue why she would even think to do this. I said that I intended to ask her after he cleared the air with everyone about what actually happened. You see, Brock is a humble, sweet, sweet man. Because even though he had no fault in this, he apologized to me and promised to do everything in existence to clear my name. Since he was only going to come home a week later, I asked him to do me a favor. He happily did it to help me, and I also asked him not to tell my sister anything until I cleared my name, and he said that it was no problem. So now I've arranged a meeting for tomorrow. I've asked all of my family members who were there to come. Also, my sister has to be there because they think that I'm going to apologize. But I'm going to tell everybody the truth. You guys will find out what happens in the next update. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's me and I am back. It's only been a few days since the last post, but things did not go as I thought that they would. My family has proved to me that they don't care if my sister does anything wrong. And right now I'm sitting in my room thinking of what I can do about this. Let me continue where I left off from. So immediately the next day I showed up at my house, and like I had asked, many of the family members had come back to hear my apology. A bit later my sister arrived and she looked very smug about everything. For some reason it was actually expecting me to apologize to her. I very quickly broke her little bubble, as I explained to everybody how she had lied and asked her what the reason was behind it. She laughed and said that she had proof of the claim. And, well, after which I showed everybody a video I'd asked Brock to make where he told everyone that I never even looked at him inappropriately. In the same video, he also said that Kim has always been jealous of me and probably got mad at me for something. He also said that he was very disappointed with her and was going to have a conversation with her about all this. This was more proof than I even required. But just so my sister would not have any chance, I also called him up. In the phone call, he said the same things on the video, and also apologized to my entire family on behalf of my sister, causing all this ruckus. My family very quickly changed their tune and told me that they always believed in me. They were just a bit confused. Then I asked my sister once again to tell me the truth about why she did it. She then tells everyone it's a joke. She took too far. She said that it started as a joke and then she got a little mad at me and decided to act like it was real. I was sitting there in disbelief, as nobody questioned her and accepted it like she had just made some small, itsy-bitsy mistake. So my sister did this in front of everybody, so you can probably understand my surprise when she faced absolutely no consequences. I asked for an apology at the very least and she just refused. My family did nothing. Even my own parents said that what she did, although bad, did not mean any harm. As you guys can probably guess, this made me very angry, and I told her that she was going to learn that actions do have consequences. She said that she's not worried about me cutting her off. She doesn't need me. Now she's rich. She said that I need her a lot more than she needs me, and it's the same with the family. This took my anger to the next level, and now I'm planning on doing something that I didn't want to do. But Kim needs to be taught a lesson, and unfortunately this is the only way. I'll let you guys know what I'm talking about in the next update, but yeah, you should just wait and see. Final update. Oh boy. Hey guys, it's been a few weeks and I do apologize for leaving you hanging in the last update. I can't really say I'm proud of what I did, but I still did it and don't regret anything. Like I've mentioned, my sister needs to learn her lesson. So after my last update, I waited a few days for Brock to arrive, and I've already learned that he had been fighting with Kim over what happened. After he came back, I texted him and asked him to swoop on by to see me when he's free, without telling my sister, of course. I told him I need to tell him something about her past, and he readily agreed. As you'll learn in this update, there are a few secrets my sister and my entire family in general are hiding from Brocky and everybody else. Even though I did promise to never talk about this to my sister, that promise lost its value the day she tried to ruin my life. Also, I did give her a chance, believing she was going to apologize, but she failed. So I felt like telling Brock everything. We met at a park, and I wasted no time telling him the utter truth. I told him that Kim had had 2 babies from different guys and had, escaped responsibility. She ran away from them, taking care of the baby, and was such a bad partner. I mean it, bad. That they didn't even pursue her and decided to raise the kid on their own. She had also been arrested, assault, as she had actually brutally attacked one of her boyfriends in the past. He was understandably shook, shaken, and, utterly in disbelief after hearing this. I told him he could ask any family member to confirm the stories to be true, and I was not doing this out of spite or revenge. After that, he went back and probably confirmed it because he immediately backed out of the wedding. Asked my sister to get out of his home. He refused to see her, and he blocked her from everything. The next day, my sister shows up early in the wee hours of the morning, claiming that I ruined her life. I told my parents everything that I told him. When my parents asked me why I did it, I told them this started as a joke and I took it too far, unlike what they did with my sister. They and the other family members who started coming in after learning what happened started pressuring me to apologize to my sister. I reminded them once that they did not do this to Kim, and they threatened to throw me out of the home. Kim also wanted me to beg for forgiveness, but I had a different plan. So instead, I just packed all my bags and I left. They forgot that I was the one who paid the bills in the house, and I decided that I would be happier living alone rather than staying with a family like this. I forgot to mention after my last update, I also sent the video of Brock clearing the air to Akira, who had apologized for not believing me the first time, but I had not forgiven him and was still so mad at him. After I left my home, I called him. I moved in with him, and I've been here since. A little more than a week later, my family realized that I paid for everything and contacted me and asked me to come back. They said everything's been settled and they wanted their daughter back. I told them I'm cutting them off and that they should ask their other daughter to take responsibility for the bills. A few days later, they called me up begging, but I just hung up the phone. Even my sister called and begged me to come back, but I blocked her and it felt so good. Honestly, since then, I've been a lot happier than I've ever thought I could be. I do miss my family. A little, but I'm enjoying my life and don't intend on going back ever.